So let's begin our practice on proprioception today in a seated position. So we're going to take our sits bones to the edge of a rolled blanket or a block, sit up, and if your knees are uncomfortable, you can take 2 blocks under the knees and cross-legged. You can also sit kneeling, or you can sit higher up on that blanket or the block to bring the hips up higher and just take some of that pressure off. Whatever way you choose to begin in your seated position, begin to become aware of your base of the sits bones that are grounded and touching earth. Then the pelvis, which is tilting slightly forward, allowing for a natural curve in the lower back. Travel up the spine, roll those shoulder blades down the back, the shoulders away from the ears and the crown of the head reaching towards the sky, allowing for that natural curve in the neck. Notice your breath and keep the eyes open for a moment since we're talking about proprioception today. Let's bring that awareness to one of those main reference point for our balance agility practice is that your eyes play such a central role. Looks like someone's coming in there. And just look side to side, up and down with your nice, calm eyes. Just noticing, you can even make circles with your eyes in either direction. As you come to your breath awareness. So we've just visited a bit of that center of proprioception, which is gauging our place in space. So now we can visit some other places that we close the eyes. I invite you to do so. If that's better for you to keep them open, that's fine. Close the eyes and notice what happens. You become more aware of the other senses. The sense of touch, perhaps the feeling of the air on your skin. The sense of hearing what is around you. Maybe the sense of smell. Especially the hearing is a big part of our placement in space. And then perhaps we become more referring to the sense of touch. So we've got that air around the entire body. So you've got air in front of you, but then on the sides and the back. Now, as you observe this breath and this sensation, observation, begin to breathe in a 3-part pattern, inhaling into the belly, then the chest, then the shoulders and collarbone. And exhale with your belly, chest, collarbone area. A very calming practice to orient yourself. Belly, chest, shoulders. Exhaling, belly, chest, shoulders. Always that awareness of the deep center, the lower abdominals, the diaphragm, which is below the lungs, a muscle that keeps our breath renewing itself regularly. So we're pumping those bellows of the breath, bringing ourselves into a more heightened awareness of our alignment, which is part of proprioception. Another 3-part breath here on your own pace. And then flutter your eyes open. Here we are with our eye perception again. Grow that crown of the head tall towards the sky. If you feel like changing the cross of your legs, you can do that at any time to take that load off the hips. Take your fingertips to the sides of the body next to the mat. So now we've got more sensational touch point here for the balance of the body, the torso and the trunk above those hips. Inhale, press through the points of the fingers and you can feel yourself getting a more space between those vertebrae. Turn the palms up towards the sky. And on an inhale, float those arms up towards the sky. And then reach through the sides of the body. So we've got those sensors all over in our muscles, understanding where we are. Take the palms together in prayer position. Now we'll take our perception over to the side. So let's lean over, long side body stretch. Inhale back up, exhale to the other side. Using those sits bones as our reference point, our anchor. Reach up and let's clasp the fingers together. Reach up through those hands one more time. Inhale and exhale, bring the palms to the base of the skull. So now we're visiting Grand Central for proprioception. This is the area that is connecting the brain to the body. And there are a major proprioceptors in this area of the body. Let's just appreciate that and feel that sensation. Sensation actually brings that awareness to that spot so that perhaps it improves this overall connectivity of the nervous system just by touching that reference point. Inhale, let's use a tiny lift of those hands upward towards the sky to bring our space in the vertebrae. And then exhale, let's gently guide the right ear toward right shoulder. And then exhale, releasing down. And on an inhale, let's come back up, guide the head. And then over to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. Come back up and then turn the head with your hands, the guidance over the right, towards the right shoulder. Inhale through the center and then exhale to the other side. So we're exploring the range of our neck with the support at the bottom of the skull. Inhale, do a gentle lift here, tiny micro lift as you look up towards the sky. So you should feel a nice traction on the spine that allows you to look up comfortably without any pain in the neck. Exhale, look forward, and then look down at the heart. Guide the head down, chin into the jugular notch in between the two collarbones. Drop those shoulders away from the ears. Notice the back of the neck. It's a stretch here. And then come back up. And then we'll take our thumbs to the occiput ridge. So at the bottom of the skull, make circles outward with the thumbs and then inward. Activate and loosen up some of those connective tissues to bring more connectivity there. And then slide the thumbs towards the ears. The inner ears have so much of our proprioceptive awareness. So let's pull those ears out, just connect to the inside by pulling the ears out. And then you'll notice that the jaw loosens, all of that center point of the top of the spine in between the ears activated. And we'll take those, let's take the palms, let's clasp the fingers again just for a moment to open the elbows and look up to the sky. We're going to round the back on purpose here. Exhale, bring the elbows together in front of the face. Inhale again, open up like a butterfly wings looking up. Exhale, take the elbow points together. And then release the hands towards the shoulders, and we'll take the elbows in circles behind us. I'm going to change the cross of my legs at this point. I invite you to do the same. And then circles to the front. Gliding through those hips, through those shoulder sockets, and then take the palms and slide them across your upper chest here, and then cross the hands so that you've got your fingertips on the shoulders and the thumbs linked in the middle. And just with this position and this mudra, become aware of the sternum of the heart space, another frame of reference. When we are standing and moving, we want to be aware, we want to be aware of where the sternum is, where this is pointing, where it is in space. So that soft awareness of it helps a lot. Let's bring the fingertips towards the shoulders, towards those shoulder blades in the back. If you can reach the tips of those and just feel the trapezius, you can softly massage that area with fingertips, just walking the fingertips along, bringing that awareness again, sensational. This has been known very much now, doctors and all kinds of physical therapists are saying gentle touch, very healing to any pain or pinchy areas. Just beginning with gentle touch is a great thing. Great, let's take those hands, take them down to the thighs. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, let's drop the hands to the side and we'll walk our fingertips out to the right, making this a nice long side bend. So allowing the spine to become more flexible to the right side. Drop the ear to shoulder like we were before. And this time, let's check out where your sternum is. Let's face that forward instead of down towards the floor. Close the eyes, inhale the left arm to the sky, use another guide besides the eyes, and then bring the left ear towards the left. See if I said it right, it would help. Bring the left arm towards the left ear and feel where you are in space here. Notice the anchor of the left sits bone. And left arm toward left ear. Open the eyes, lift the left arm up towards the sky, come back up to center, touch down with your left fingertips, walk them out to the side. Drop the left ear toward left shoulder. Feel the softening towards the left, long side bend, and then close the eyes. Notice your place in space. Where's the sternum? Where's the crown of the head? Reach the right arm up towards the sky, really reach long. And then take the right arm next to right ear. Feel the anchor of the right sits bone as you guide yourself through the other senses of the body. Keep your shape and this very therapeutic stretch. Open the eyes. Inhale, take the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, land down in the center. And we'll take a gentle twist by lifting the arms up to this prayer position above the head, bring them slightly in front of the face. And as we bring that prayer position down to the center of the body, we're going to twist the rib cage to the right and the left. Just a rocking from side to side. So we're going side to side along the axis of the spinal column, that vertical, but we're also tracing the center with our thumbs through the center of the body as we take the twist. Beautiful. Let's hang out here in a prayer position for a moment, noticing as we press the palms together, we get a sense of centering. Elbows out to the side. Let's bring the fingertips up towards the face and then down towards the hips. So up and down, getting a little wrist glide here, up and down. Great. Back to prayer, press them together, feeling the strength and the activation of the shoulders. I'm going to show you another trick for activating the shoulders. Bring the palms together in this horizontal position and then slide them out, link the fingers. And as you pull the fingers away from each other, wake up the shoulders, the bigger muscles of the shoulders. You can loosen the fingertips and then change it so the left is on top, and then slide them away from each other, link the fingers and pull the fingers away from each other. And you'll feel that sensation, the wake up of those bigger shoulder support muscles. Release that, and now we're going to go to reclined position. Today, it's great if you have a block and strap. You want the strap nearby for our psoas work down here on the floor. So grab the block, move the blanket to the side. By the way, you can also use a blanket to lift the hips in our next pose. Guide yourself down to the mat, placing the soles of the feet on the floor, using the arms to guide your head down gently to the mat. And before we begin, we'll just notice our orientation here. So we've got the feet on the floor, the footprints are hip width apart, knees are hip width apart, and the shoulders roll away from the ears. So the way to roll the shoulders more away from the ears and melt them towards the earth is laying the arms down next to the body, noticing the length of your arm on the floor, and then press the feet, like actually push your toes towards the bottom of the mat. And as you do so, notice if you really keep pushing, the skin of your back will pull down towards the hips and your head will go towards the top of the mat. So we're actually physically pulling that derma, the skin, down, which encourages everything else to release. And you can, after you stop pushing, you'll just notice that your shoulders roll a little closer to the earth. Inhale, feel that path of breath into the belly, the chest, and the collarbones, and exhale. Perfect alignment, skull to sacrum. Exhale. Grab the block, and we're going to do a nice spa bridge here. So press through the feet, really use that reference point of the feet, lift the hips up, sternum comes towards the chin, and then we'll take that block under the sacrum. It should feel really yummy and comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable, make sure you shift around to find the right spot for you. It really should feel like total support. Take the arms next to the body and again, roll those shoulders underneath you and feel that yummy release with your exhale. You can close the eyes, and again, let's perceive the body from a different sensory experience. Take the right leg out long, straighten the right leg. Keep your right foot active. So press it against an imaginary surface like you're standing, and then release the foot out to the side. And then straighten out your left leg. Press that left foot against an imaginary surface, and then release the foot to the side. Now we are lifting our hips up, so the hip bones are pointing upward and they're even. And if they're not even, maybe shift around and make sure that they stay evenly on that block. So lifting the hips up, this is not something we usually stand around doing, but it takes the weight off the hips and it gives us a chance to stretch these large muscles in the front of the body that connect our trunk to our legs. So just notice this release as we have gravity help us. Inhale. Exhale. Take the arms next to the ears, reach long. So how tall can you get from your feet? You can point the feet, point the toes, and reach the fingertips up. So we're really getting length here. Exhale, the arms next to the body. Bend the right knee, bend the left knee. And now we're back in our spa bridge. And we're going to take a little bit of a hamstring, early hamstring stretch here. Inhale the right knee toward the chest. Just give it a hug with your hips lifted. Circle your ankle in one direction and the other. And then take the strap around the ball of the right foot and reach it up towards the sky. So we're supported here underneath, but also supported through the foot, kind of closing the gap, not having our leg hang out in space, but rather support it with the strap. You can take it diagonally too if you don't like to bend or flex that extremely. Shoulders get to roll away from the ears because, shoulders get to roll towards the earth because we have that lift in the hips. It's a little bit easier with that gravity. The sternum is a little more towards the chin, so we've got more of an arch in the back. And let's slide the heel across towards the left hip. Inhale into that belly, chest, shoulders, exhale. Slide that heel upward again, back to neutral. Bend the right knee, release the strap, and we'll just do the other side. Inhale, knee to chest, left knee. Circle the ankle, one direction and then the other. And then take that strap, catch the ball of the left foot and reach it up. And you can take that diagonal or vertical, whatever works for you, but make sure you know where your sacrum is so that it keeps those hips even. We'll be stretching our hamstrings in a standing position, so we're prepping for that a little bit here. Oh, notice the sensations across the back of the legs, getting a little orientation there. And slide that left heel over towards the right hip, guiding it over with the strap. As we breathe nice, easy breaths, we increase our awareness of all the sensations, and we increase our ability to release the tightness. Bring the foot back up towards the sky, neutral position for the left leg. Inhale, exhale, release, bend the left knee. Release the strap, place it to the side, and then bring those legs out long again. Both legs straight, flop the feet out to the side, arms up next to the ears. Another chance to lengthen out. Stretch that skin, stretch the fascia, the connective tissue. And bend the knees. Place those feet on the floor, sweep the arms next to the body. And we're going to take the arms down below the body, along the body, and press the full length of the arms, press the palms down so that you can really feel the floor beneath you. And inhale the hips up towards the sky. Notice your sternum is coming towards the chin. So we're taking this arch into the mid and upper back. Remove the block, place it to the side. And take the fingers, clasp them together under the body. And full length of the arms pressing into the mat, lifting the hips up. Getting a full stretch across the front of the body. And release the fingertips and snake the spine down, bone by bone, to the floor, using that sacrum as your landing spot. Release, beautiful. And now we're gonna move to our front of the body. We're gonna go into cat-cow, so roll over onto one side. Grab your blanket to cushion the knees and place that up towards the bottom of the mat. Always want to cushion those knees, even though in our all fours position, it's really the shins that are base, not the knees. We want to protect the knees always. And here we go with our alignment, knees under hips and wrists under shoulders. If you want to point the index finger towards the top of the mat, press down through all your fingertips. You'll notice more engagement, less pressure on the wrists. You can take the wrist forward a bit if that's more comfortable, but engaging the shoulders, you can also take the armpits towards the ribs. Squeeze an imaginary newspaper under your arm. And then you've got more engagement. And now we're set to take that tailbone down towards the floor. Inhale, the back of the ribs up towards the sky. And let's change our perspective by taking the eyes down at towards the knees, looking between the knees. Lift up even higher if you can. Exhale. Let's take the tailbone up towards the sky, snaking up towards the shoulder blades, squeeze together, heart melts. Look up in front of you in the cow position. And we're going to change our perspective by closing the eyes, just feeling your way through cat position, lifting up, pushing away with the hands. And exhale into cow. One more time using the rhythm of your breath. And if you want to open the eyes, come to your fists if you're having any pressure on your wrists in this position. So you can just come to the fists to keep those wrists straight on. We're going to balance and go off balance a bit here. Take the right leg long behind you, curl the toes under, and see if you can close the eyes, lift the right leg off the floor. And just for a moment, close the eyes and perceive where your hips are, whether they're even or not. And then open the eyes. Just see how that feels different when you open the eyes. And check out behind you. See if you're really perceiving the hips even or not. You can look down even at your knee and see if how even that really is. Hold it there, come back to neutral with the crown of the head reaching horizontally, and take the left arm next to left ear. And then reach forward with the left and just take yourself off center and come back to center. And then bring that hand back down, the knee back down. Other side, curl the left toes under, left leg long. Find your balance. And then close the eyes and lift the leg up. See if you can perceive even hips in your mind's eye. And then open the eyes. You can look down at your knee, maybe get an idea if the hips are even or not, make an adjustment. Come back to neutral spine. Inhale the right arm next to right ear. Hold that, throw yourself off center by reaching forward. Imagine shaking a hand in front of you. Woo! See, I'm falling out, which is perfect. Because then you can get to know your center better as you pull back into center. Bring the right hand down, left knee down. And then at your own pace with your own rhythm of the breath, do each side again. Inhaling as you go up. Exhaling as you go down. And as we switch back, before we switch up to our standing sequence, I want us to close the eyes here in our neutral spine. And now, instead of proprioception, we'll use a little bit of interoception. So noticing internally in the body, notice what's going on internally, just take a tour, especially along the spine, and find out information from your spine, what movement the spine needs. Do you need to go side to side? Do you need to go into cat-cow again? One more time? Do you need to slide back to child? Whatever you need to do right now, just make a few movements, listening in to the internal workings of the body. And when you're ready, come back to neutral, open the eyes, take your block between your thighs in this all fours position. So whatever allows you to be hip width, that's the setting you want on the block. Squeeze the block gently, curl the back toes under, and we're going to go up into down dog here from our curling those toes under and placing the palms forward on the mat towards the top of the mat. Knees lift off the mat, squeeze the block and press that spine, press back so that the spine is diagonal towards the sits bone. Have that same sense of squeezing your armpits towards the ribs. And then you'll see the shoulders engage and we're not just hanging out in space. We've got the strong hands and we've got our feet. So those are our base, the apex being that hinge of the hips. Inhale, see if you can lengthen out a little bit more. You can keep your knees bent if that's better for you instead of straightening out the legs. One, let's bend the knees together as we walk the hands towards the feet, squeezing the block. Move your blanket aside and just hang down here with the knees bent. Take the thumbs to the elbow creases. And this will allow us to easily look upside down at the world. Hang the head and feel that release in the neck with your exhale. And then take the fingertips to the mat. Inhale, float the back body. So your back is going to be flat. You're using the inhale to float yourself up. Feel that. Ribs towards the thighs. Sit back in an imaginary chair from this flat back position. Keep your knees behind your toes. Inhale the ribs off of the thighs. Fold up at the hips. And then reach the arms next to the ears. Stand strong through the feet. Chair position. Step strong through the feet as you ease yourself up to standing. Inhale, exhale, take the arms next to the body. And then remove the block and we're going to place it at the top of the mat. Actually, I was wrong. We're starting out with our forward bend. So take the block, back to the thighs. Take the hands to the hips. And we're standing in a strong mountain pose here as we activate that core even more by squeezing the block. So when you squeeze the block, just notice again, you're not squeezing it so that the block is pointing way forward, but you're squeezing it enough to activate your inner thighs. And you also still have a slight tilt in that lower back and the pelvis so that you have that curve in the lower back. Take the hands to the lower back and just notice that curve. At the same time, your navel's toning in enough to point your tailbone towards the floor. Steady, strong mountain pose. Release the hands next to the body. Squeeze the glutes about 25% of their strength. You've really steadied it up. Strong mountain pose. Crown of the head reaching up. Take the hands to the hips and we're going to hinge forward in a forward bend so that we get another sense of our head and neck moving around in space. Inhale, exhale, bend forward at the hips. You can go only as far as comfortable for you as you squeeze that block. And come back up like you're nodding the body. Close the eyes if you are comfortable with that. Notice your mountain pose, and as you take the mountain pose with the eyes closed, notice your place in space. What are the sensations and what are the subtle movements keeping you balanced? Awareness. Exhale, bend forward with the eyes closed if you're comfortable that way. If not, open them, or one eye and the other. And notice as you travel in space, if it makes you dizzy, by all means, open the eyes. Come back up. And move forward again. And again, if at any point you feel dizzy or losing that sense, just open the eyes. Keep the eyes closed, again, noticing a strong mountain pose with all of those cues I gave you. Should be able to stand strong. If you need something next to you for any of this practice to balance more steadily, that's fine too. Open the eyes. You're super strong here. Now we can remove the block and we're going to put it at the top of the mat on the right side, the top of the mat in its lowest position. So leave it there, come to the back of the mat. As you come to the back of the mat, notice you probably walked backwards. Another very strong sense in the body of knowing what's behind you, right? Inhale, take the hands to the hips. Exhale, step the right foot forward about 2 to 3 feet. We're going to take our back foot at about a 45-degree angle. So we've got the right toes pointing forward, and we're going to take a forward bend here towards that block. But first, press the feet into the mat and notice that's your base. Point the tailbone down. Inhale, grow tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, we're going to take that right hand to the right thigh, and that's the top of that thigh is the hinge point. Keeping the hips even, we're going to tilt forward and just feel that tilt forward. You don't have to take it to horizontal. I just want you to feel that fold forward. Keeping those hip bones even if you can, scissoring the legs together. Inhale, the left arm next to left ear, really reaching that left side long. You get to even things out here through that left arm. Now begin to bend your right knee towards the toes, and we're going to come forward. But imagine that you have a rope in your left hand, and then pull on the rope and bring your left foot forward. Pull. Okay, so now we're in this strong standing position. It's like you've got help from just the air, the universe, that energy, that force of the body, bringing us into center again. So here we are in mountain, near the block. We'll get to that in a second, but first we're just going to come to our toes from mountain pose. So get gauged in mountain pose, nice, strong, and then come up to your tiptoes. I'm going to only go up so far. I have a bit of a toe injury, but I want you to come up to your tiptoes as much as you can, lifting the body up and down. And if you're comfortable without any balance guide next to you like a chair, it's okay. Or you can grab a chair if you want to feel extra balanced with your eyes closed. I'm going to suggest that you close the eyes. If you're not comfortable with both eyes, you just close one. Inhale, get into mountain pose. Exhale, feel the grounding through the feet, and then lift the heels up, tiptoes. Close the eyes. What activates when you close your eyes? Does everything want to just release? Perhaps it does. So let's see. You can come down anytime you want. Keep the eyes closed, try it again, and just see what activates here. When you do close the eyes, the muscles have to fire up even more because you don't have a visual reference point for balance. But we can stay balanced. Yeah, come forward a bit. So play with this. We'll do it one more time. You can, again, just close one eye or just practice going up and down with the eyes open. That's okay too. But this really helps you notice the subtleties of balance and agility when we close the eyes, keeping those muscles awake and toned without a visual cue. Come back down. Relax now. And take the right foot. If you're comfortable with this, you can take the right foot to the block. You can also practice this without the block, so just stepping forward without a block. But because we've done this particular pose before, we can try it with the block. So step up onto the block, bringing the hips even. So we're simply practicing bringing our hips into an even position on a raised surface. If you have a little step nearby, you want to practice on that, that's good too. So here we are. See if you can just practice bringing that left hip up to meet the right evenly in space. And then see if you can point your left toe forward and kind of back. So point, you can bend the left knee for a knee lift. This is ultra challenge. So if you don't want to do this on the block, you don't have to, but you know how we draw a line with our left toes, with our toes in other standing poses. We lift the left knee, point the left toe forward, and draw a line imaginary behind you and bring it forward. Fire up the right side. You want to collapse. Very important to squeeze those glutes. And breathe. Step off the block. Shake out your right leg. Now I'm going to turn towards you. You can stay in your position, but I'm going to turn towards you. We're going to do tree pose. So take our mountain. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, begin to fire up that right side. So keep those glutes engaged. Take the left heel onto the right side of the right ankle. Kickstand your left toes. You can see me here, these black pants. Inhale, you can take your foot up the right leg, your left foot up the right leg, and place it on the side of the shin or the side of the knee, whatever's more comfortable, as long as you're not pressing it out of pressing too hard. You have to come into the center. So you want to press the inside of your right leg against your left foot and the left foot gently against the right leg. Let's notice where our center is here. Point the tailbone down. Great. Yeah, and if you fall out, that's fine. No worries. Inhale the arms in, exhale the hands into prayer position. So again, remember we were reminding ourselves of the center through those prayer position hands. Tree pose. This is a great proprioceptor pose. Close one eye. And close the other eye. And then if you want to close both eyes, even if you just kickstand that left foot down on the floor, that's okay. Try it with your eyes closed. Again, you start to sway like a tree in the wind. And that's okay. Open the eyes when it starts to feel really wobbly. And you can even sweep the arms above the head. You can come out of that when you want and then just re-enter tree pose with your hips even. And then just sway side to side. We're taking ourselves off center with the eyes open for this part. And just notice. Really helps to have those eyes open, to stay on center. And bring the arms down, feet down, back to mountain, shake it out. Okay, come to the top of your mat, take the block, put it to the other side. And now if you're comfortable walking backwards towards the back of the mat, you can do that little by little, using your sensations to get to the back of the mat. Inhale, let's take mountain pose, pressing through those footprints, and take the left footprint forward. So we're gonna step forward and angle the right toes to the 45 degrees, pressing the toes into the mat, pressing the feet into the mat, magnetize them together, keeping the hips even. Take the left hand to the top of left thigh, grow the spine long on an inhale, and exhale, lean forward. And hip bones are even. Scissor the legs together energetically. And lift the right arm next to right ear. So feel the length of the spine even as you're hinging forward and lowering towards the earth. Imaginary rope in your right hand, bend the left knee towards the toes, and then sweep yourself up with that energy as if you have that rope to help you up in the mountain. Let's do a tiptoe here through the tulips. So we'll close the eyes in mountain, come up to tiptoes, your choice of eyes open or closed. Practice our balance. And come back down. Mountain pose, step up if you're comfortable onto that block with the left foot. And see if you can bring those hips even. I'm gonna step back a little bit here. Step up onto the block, hips even, glutes engaged. And then we'll begin to bend the right knee upward, point the right toes forward, and draw them back towards the back of the mat, bend the knee. See if you can draw that line in space. Eyes open, steady gaze. And pulling one more time. Step back off the block. Turn around, or actually I'm turning around to show you, but you don't have to do that. We're going to take tree pose. This time the left side is the trunk of the tree. So strengthen that up, press through that left foot, kickstand the right toes, heel to ankle. And I'm already starting, I could feel the tilting to one side. So let's find the center, hip bones even. Take the hands into prayer. Lift your foot if you'd like to try that balance along the left leg. Close one eye. Close another. Close both if that's comfortable. You can open the eyes, lift the arms to the sky. Take yourself off center. So we're really doing 3 versions of tree pose here. We're doing tree pose. With the eyes closed, it's called midnight tree. And then with this exercise here is called falling tree. You're supposed to fall. Play with a little bit more here, whatever you choose. Midnight tree, tree, or swaying falling tree. So many versions of trees. How to have the trees stand tall in the dark. Beautiful. Come out of that, shake it out. Good job. I saw them out there on the screen, our forest. Let's take ourselves to the back of the mat and take the friendly block there to the thighs. Squeeze in for that added strength. Inhale, arms up, swan dives. Take the arms out to the side, bend the knees, and find your hands way to the floor with the hands. Walk out to the top of the mat into downward dog. Maybe get a little more length here. Maybe the heels come more towards the earth because your hamstrings are more open. Channel there. Notice looking upside down again. This is an inversion. So the head is upside down, renegotiating its place. A lot of work going on, brain to body. Bend the knees, bring yourself down to earth, and remove the block. We're going to switch to our figure 4, so reclined position. And ease yourself down to the mat. We're going to take a figure 4 and a twist. So talk about proprioception. This is a bit like playing Twister, which is awesome. Another awesome game for proprioception. So take the props to the side or even further. And inhale the right knee to the chest. We'll take the right ankle over the left knee, left thigh. Let's notice where the sacrum is and make sure it's even with the back of the skull. And then inhale your left knee towards your face. Hold on to the back of the left thigh with your hands clasped. Keep both feet in an active position, pressing against an imaginary surface, just an imaginary wall in your mind's eye so that you can protect your knees. Find your sacrum, orient yourself evenly. Inhale into the belly, into the chest and the shoulders. Exhale. Feel more release through that right hip socket. Take your left foot down to the floor. Lift yourself up slightly so you can come over on to your left side. Place your right foot down onto the floor. So that's a very strong press through that right foot. And you're going to take your left hand and grab your right shin or right ankle. So we're set up here and our hips, so we're on our side, so the hips are perpendicular to the floor. Now you're going to take your left knee and you're going to crawl it a little bit back towards the back of your mat. Feel the sensations here. And we should be feeling it, kind of a hip stretch on this right hip flexors on the outside of the leg. Take the right hand to the chest, elbow to the sky, and guide your ribs over to the right. Just the ribs, not the hips, and then the shoulders. And here's the super twister part of the stretch. If you want to take your right hand and try to find your left toes, you can do that. If not, if that doesn't happen easily, then don't over effort. Look up at the sky. Imagine beautiful blue sky above you. Use the exhale to release even more. Take the right knee and you can just inch it side to side, kind of like a screen door opening and closing. Inch it slightly, which gives an extra stretch to the hip flexors. You can even get our gaze into this by gazing over your right shoulder. Notice as your body tries to negotiate all the points, right, left, back, front, side. Release your back foot, release that ankle, come back up into figure 4. Inhale, exhale, unwind. And then inhale your left knee towards your face, hug it, and take the left ankle over the right thigh. Find that sacrum. Inhale the right thigh towards the face. Clasp the hands around the back of the thigh. Keep the feet active. Feeling with each exhale, your left hip socket gets a new message of fluidity, of release. Take the right foot down to the floor and lift the hips up and roll over onto your right side. The left foot comes down. So that's your base. strong through through the left foot. Take your right hand and grab the left ankle. Begin to creep that right knee towards the back of the mat. Take your left hand to your heart and turn your ribs over towards the left, the sternum, shoulders, and see if you can find your right foot with your left hand. If not, you can take that arm out to a T. Bring the gaze over the left side and feel this shape. You can close the eyes if you wish. Your left knee can sway side to side just an inch or two, back and forth. Each exhale, a little more acceptance of gravity. Release your foot in the back. Release the hand off the ankle. You can come back up to figure four. Release that left foot and then inhale both knees towards the chest. Take the hands to the shins. Press the sacrum into the mat and press the shins into the hands and the hands into the shins, decompressing that lower back. With an exhale, let's take the feet to the floor, straighten out the right leg, straighten out the left leg. We have a few moments here for release. So shimmy those shoulders underneath you, palms to the sky. Let's take a journey through the senses. Incorporating the senses into this meditation, Shavasana. Close the eyes. Perhaps you see some colors with your vision. Notice the sounds around you, the ears perceiving sounds in the distance, sounds in the room, sounds closer to you. The aroma around you through the sense of smell. Take the tongue to the back of the teeth, the top of the back of the teeth. Awareness of taste. Following that 3-part breath. Increasing our awareness of touch. Those points of the body touching the floor, back of the skull, shoulders, back of the ribs, the arms and the hands, the hips, back of the legs, and the heels. With these synthesized 5 senses, take a nice big inhale into the whole body. And a sigh out of release. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring the feet to the floor, soles of the feet, bend the knees, bend the elbows, roll over onto one side. Gently help yourself up to a seated position. Meeting in the seated position, take our hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position, reminding ourselves of this strong center and the balance and agility and synthesization of mind, body, and spirit that yoga brings to us. Thank you so much for joining me in the practice today. Namaste.